stop this before I ruin the video. But good morning. I am tired as heck. Probably only work to sleep like 3 hours, if that. But now I am shooting down to the main job. As you know, this weekend is a travel weekend. I don't even know where half the clothes I need is. We'll see. No. I'm gonna go and enjoy myself, man. I need to get out of the headspace that one person could ruin this, man. This doesn't run off one person. It runs off solely, me. Now, as far as it concerns the world, just like if I'm not in it, the world still could keep moving. That's how it is in my world. When it comes to people and material things, as long as I'm breathing, everything's fine. So I was a little stressed out sometimes throughout yesterday. I don't know where it came from, because I was fine, and then out of nowhere, some things start to trickle down. My car got rear-ended. Nothing major, but I had passengers in the car, so still got stuff to do, like report that shit to the there's a claim filed, but still got reported to the rental folks, which they make everything a terrible process. So I don't look forward to getting them on the phone or the process of them needing me to bring the car in eventually. But yeah, it's just hitting me that between now and coming back from my trip, that's something that's probably gonna have to be addressed. But I don't think that's the reason why I was stressed out. I like this joint. I don't think that was, but people are starting to need more from me. That I don't take much. I kind of just try to basically take as much as I'm able to give, and sometimes I decline, I defer, but because there's always something behind an offering, or people not wanting you to move on, trying to convince you can have it all here. So that's the position I'm in, because not that my moving on looks anything like anything, but You know, I kind of just want to do it my way, 100% of the time from now on. Like I said, I contribute, but there's always a bigger ask, and half the time it takes away from me going about the way I want to do things. All the way up to this point, I probably couldn't do YouTube the way I wanted to, because it does affect personal lives. There were things I was going through that I wouldn't be skilled enough not to mention, because all I could really talk about is my everyday life most of the time. Even right now, maybe those things are bothering me a lot less, so I don't have to tiptoe around the facts. But the only thing that makes this so complicated is because I consider myself very much independent. I'm not attached to my parents. I'm not attached to a girl that's giving me her life in my hands. And I don't have children that their life depends on me. And a couple of days ago, I was actually thinking it's starting to get too late for that. Not too late, but I'd have a late going if I didn't do nothing. At least now I'll start preparing, because I do have very much a few requirements, things to know about a person, and there's no one here right now. So it's like, is that day ever coming? But they do say, and I am an optimist, that it might come when I least expect it. So that's something to look forward to, right? Or not really, because if I'm looking forward to it, it may never come, right? So when I was thinking, and I just had a flash, which got my hopes up. But then, it's an up and down thing. It's a language barrier thing. It's disappointment, obviously. Not one thing about anything in life or another person that we view is going to be 100% correct or on point. So that's that. With knowing that, with all that knowledge, I still fall victim to the fact that when it does happen, when it all settles, I'm still left disappointed. So imagine someone who doesn't even bother to put these thoughts into perspective. So with knowing that, I decided I'm just gonna have a good time. Now, when I indulge too much into it, with what I consider a good time, I already know that it's inevitable that things are gonna be said about me, that people are gonna have their impressions. That, if I still have a feeling, it might hurt my feelings. I'd say they might be false. Maybe not 100%, but somewhere around there. And it would be lonely, because you can't have too much of anything, right? But I do want to indulge in a lot of fun to make up for lost time. I mean, I handicapped myself a whole decade. You know, I'm not saying anybody did anything to me. I did. And before I knew it, I went from 20 to 30 years old. Now, I'm not saying I should have started a family or, you know, be out there going to parties or nothing like that, because not 1 year did I want any of those things at that moment. But if I knew what I knew now, I would have got started. I hope that's making sense. There's something that you figured out in your life, and now you like, man, you just have doubts. But really and truly, you're not ready until you're ready. Now, you're like, what the hell does that mean? You're not ready until you're ready. It means what it means. Yeah. It just came up in my head. And if somebody would have told me that, I would have had the same question. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? You're not ready until you're ready. So all that means to me is I don't need to regret not doing nothing yesterday. If it never came to me like it came to me right now today, or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you name it. It's like a baby being mad that it wasn't walking earlier. Well, your legs weren't strong enough. I don't know what to tell you. So that's what that means. That's truly, literally what that could mean to anyone. You apply to whatever the situation is. And a big part of me is casting out regret. Whenever it creeps in, I just need to shoo it away. And, you know, because you can't take back something that already happened. And going back to the scene, trying to fix it, trying to put some fog around it, only makes it worse when it all said and done. So I learned that. If anything that I learned in the last 10 years is that live with no regrets. I think that's the title. Even though I didn't really address it till like this end of it. Live with no regrets. Make decision. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna disappoint people. But at the same time, know that you are figuring out life. Your mistakes is part of who you are. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be. Let's take another example, which might has nothing to do with this, but I'm giving it a try. And by the way, I'm about to get on the freeway, and this is a good video. So if I have to end it, forgive me. It's because it gets loud. But you see attractive people all the time finding things about themselves that they don't think is very attractive. And we have a name for that. We call it insecurity. Very attractive people, a large percentage of the world, those people that doesn't have a sense of self, of course, says that they want to be like those people. They want to have whatever those people have. But that person themselves wakes up, go to sleep, wanting to change things about themselves, or think whatever they have is just not enough. That's very true and funny. And let me be more personal. Take me for example. At a good time in my life, I'm not sure how much I wish that, but who doesn't want to be taller? Even women wish they were taller. But yet, one thing we like about them is that, they're not as big as us. If they're like men or whatever. But women want tall men, and short women wish they were a little taller, maybe to fit a certain dress. I don't want to go off the rail with this. But personally for me, at some point, I couldn't live with just being slightly below average height, which would considered 5'9", 5'8". But you ask a woman, 6'1" is the average height. So would I have been okay being 5'8" to 5'10", right in between there? Yeah, I would have been okay, but would I still have this similar problem? Maybe not the same issues that I'm having right now, which are no longer considered issues. It's just a position in life, I could do trade-offs where maybe I'm shorter and I make a lot of money, but there's really no solution, right? So therefore, if I never learn to live with it and know my place, not be insecure, I'd be miserable. I could have started regretting being born, because at some point my ego was so huge that it couldn't handle that. I walk into a room and a group of, female girls, women, maybe not the older ones, but choose to dismiss me because I'm not the tallest man in the room. Now, I may be the most intuitive, you name it. Like, I'm probably the most qualified. But in that specific moment, none of that mattered off first impression. You see how deep we could go with this? Because it's starting to be too loud for me. But we could go really deep with this. You walk into the room and you're automatically ranked right away. And we're beings, so automatically you start to feel things, you start to feel vibes, and at some point I checked out to the point where I didn't have any expectations, no outcome. I wasn't trying to prove anything. And before that, I was doing the total opposite, and it was basically sprinkling gas into the fire. But I was much younger. I mean, I just didn't know any better. I go from not thinking it mattered to, oh yeah, this really mattered. And I would say that hit me during the college years. And then I checked out. I mean, my ego couldn't take it, right? And I floundered around for another 5 years, I believe, until I had to kill my ego and just say, the hell, So what that 7 out of 10 are not accessible to me. There's a 1 or 2 I might want, and then the 3, I don't want it. Whatever. So that's the reason why I'm gonna be just doing what I want to do. When you live that way, it's more attractive. And if it's not, at least, you know, you did something that you felt like doing at the time. That's all it is. You know, you can't blame anybody for the outcome. You can't depend on anyone to have pity, to overlook, to hook you up, you name it. Anytime I depended on that, I fumbled, I stumbled, I overworked, I overvalued something just to get less out of it. You know, I face guilt, you know. So now that I'm on that timing, I just have to remove regret. Oh, I regret doing this. I did something out of the norm. It was fun during the time, but now it's like, why did I do that? Well, fuck it. Yeah, that's it. You did it. That's what you wanted to do at the time. It's done. You know, it's done. Because you don't want to be like a chick that indulge in sexual activity with randoms, right? And at the time, it's like you're so aggressive, but when the act is done and everything is calm, the dust is settled, you in the pile of the mess by yourself, the person that indulged with you, you can't even hear, smell, or even know a number to contact them. And yeah, that's a pretty messed up feeling, I could imagine. So that's in return what that would be in my life if I just start regretting. You know, let's say I spend some money on a massage, but I really want to be stern and paying back debt and stuff like that. Nah, sometimes you need to let the lid off the top. You know, sometimes everything is, you know, you gotta get the edge off and all of that stuff. Because, you know, I'm still a full man, whether it's made in a special package or not, whatever you call it. It doesn't change those things that's going inside of my body. And not once did I ever thought I was any less of a man. Anytime I had to show up to the plate, I delivered, and it's almost more than expected of me. Sometimes too much, but I'd say it's still something that's protecting me too, because, like I said, I would have always chewed on more than I could chew, a bit on more than I could chew. With the opportunities, I'd probably have 3+ baby mamas with just the opportunity. Now maybe I may have dodged some stuff and probably, you know, have enough to the point where I wouldn't value it as much as I do now. But other than that, that's it. That's the thing. But for now, it's like, hey, give me the opportunity. I'm delivering and I'm taking advantage. Like, it's like telling a kid, oh, the candy's here in the thing, take one. Like, you know, a little small kid. And then just to find out they gone overboard and ate the whole bag of candy. That's how it would be for me. You give me the opportunity that I think I want in life, you know. Whether it's more women, a lot of money to do whatever I want, you know. Oftentimes we see people with a lot of money doing stupid stuff. Well, guess what? If you judge them, you don't know the half of it. You think, oh, if I had that kind of money, I would have did this. You wouldn't do You only got space to think because there's nothing in between. You know, that's a saying. You only have space to think because there's nothing in between. You're like, oh, if I look like this, I would have had this. No, you wouldn't. You only could see it because you're standing from this angle. When everything is passing in front of you, like imagine a very attractive girl every day, a new offer. You think she could see her future? It's hard. And sometimes they do themselves a solid by focus. You know, they find one goofy guy, you know, the very first or the one that got to her at the right time. She might stay with him and people might see him and be like, damn, this girl could do a lot better. And she won't give nobody the time of day. You might even think she might look great with that guy. He might have, but she just hang on to that one person because if she does let go, she might be fooled. Because, like I said, it's like when somebody, you know, it's like when you go to a, you know, when people trying to scam you at large. Oh, here's this, this will be perfect. And you turn around, here's this, this will be perfect. And you like, if you know any better, you're like, man, I can't fall for anything right now. But if you don't, you fall for something, you fall for anything. So, I think that's it, man. I went about 27 minutes. So thank you for joining me to work. Today is parking, so I'm right on. Let me just pull up behind here. And with that being said, I'm gonna clock in. Punch in. Good. All right, and here I'm gonna clock out. It was nice having this talk, and I look forward to building on top of it. So be well, be healthy. Peace.